was a tea party in Boston that was illegal, too.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
We shall seek to establish and maintain a dollar which will not change its purchasing and debt-paying power during the succeeding generation.
As anguished shrieks rose up from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Government credit and government currency are really one and the same thing. A reserve of gold and a small reserve of silver.
So, and I said, well, what if it does happen? And he says, well, price will solve everything. I said, thanks, give me the gold.
Why do central banks hold it? Well, it's a form of reserves. So why don't they hold diamonds? Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition.
Well, some people still think it's money.
Good evening. Welcome back live to the Junius Maltby Channel. The extemporaneous ramblings of a madman broadcasting live and unscripted here on the most boring channel on YouTube, the Junius Maltby Channel. Well, this is what you ordered. This is what you wanted. But buckle up, friends. It's great because the ride has really probably only just begun. It's probably just the beginning. $10 per barrel of oil, daily moves. Well, that's probably going to be slow at some point. But yeah, it was like $10 up the other day on Friday. It's up tonight already $10 again. Or sorry, it's up $17 again, about 19%. A lot of the oil production facilities, it's hard to get the true information out. We'll get into that. But it sounds like certain places, I know like Haifa in Italy, or in Israel, they were struck. Some big oil things they had. I think their own personal storage. Again, no expert on Israeli oil storage or movements. And then some place called Shiran or Sharon in Iran, near Tehran. A lot of Irans around there. Sounds like that took a big hit. And that was one of Iran's big distribution or refinery locations as well. And of course, there's the discussions about the Strait of Hormuz being closed and the ramifications that might come from that. A lot of opinions out there. But I'll tell you one thing, it's not going as smooth or as well executed as they thought. It's definitely not like a 48-hour thing. A little bit different than even grabbing Maduro. They might have killed the Pope of Islam, the holy guy of their religion over there, the Ayatollah. And they thought, of course, cut the head off the snake. Everything goes easy. It's going to be done, and we'll get this wrapped up. Not working out that way. I've got a buddy, I wouldn't even call him that. More of like an acquaintance. He's a window licker magatard that I know. We've had certain things in common in the past and engaged in correspondence on political and economic matters. And he apologized to me once prior to this current recent events. He apologized out of after a year or two of getting into it over the Israel situation, admitting I was right about all of that and about Israel and their role and certain details I'm not going to get into now. And just heads up on tonight's video, this discussion, it's really just you and me. I'm sitting here with a Polar grapefruit seltzer. Get your little fizzy, sugar-free drink, but I like the Polar seltzers with the grapefruit. And we're just having like a living room sit-down chat, you and me. A little hangout between friends, conversation on current events. That's what guys used to do. It's what I do often with a lot of my friends. As a matter of fact, this week I'm going to breakfast with a few really close buddies. Just an early morning breakfast and a couple of guys to catch up, talk about things. We have our own signal group, but hey, sometimes it's fun. It's fun to talk about those things over a cup of coffee, scrambled eggs, 2 pieces of toast, and some bacon. So we're going to make that happen. But you're watching oil tick up. Had a buddy send me a notification earlier. I wasn't looking at it. Didn't really care. I had already bought. I filled up with gas the other day. It was still below $3 a gallon. Got some gas. Just needed it, not going crazy. Didn't go fill the jerry cans. Probably should have done that. I didn't. I don't, whatever, man. I don't got too far to go. But there's people definitely doing that. I saw a screenshot, or it was a friend of mine. He sent me a picture of his vehicle stacked up with jerry cans side by side. I mean, you couldn't fit another jerry can in this guy's car. I think he came home with like 70 gallons of oil. 70 gallons of gasoline, something like that. A lot of gas, enough gas to get him through a while. And he did this 2 or 3 days ago. So if you do the math, once the gas prices catch up and adjust, he probably did a pretty smart thing. You know, he bought his gas on the futures market for cheap. He did a good job. And I think, as you know, a lot of things tie into gas. Think of the truckers. I mean, come on, everything has to get shipped. It's either on a ship, in a container, on the back of a semi-tractor trailer going over the highways and the interstates. Farmers, ranchers, they're going to be, what are they doing? What's going on? Think about it. They're going to be doing a lot of seeding. We're going into spring. Some have seeded already, but certain crops are going to get seeded now. A lot of heavy agricultural use with diesel because of that, spreading fertilizers, doing weed and pesticide mitigations, all of the different things that they do, yes. Some of it, I'm not condoning the use of some of those chemicals, but you know what's going to happen on the industrial scale of agriculture coming up this time of year. Not to mention everyone's still driving. Okay, we've got, and then you have, of course, the heat of the summer coming in the southern states, air conditioning and a lot of energy and power use grids running off of fossil fuels to do that cooling mechanism. So we're going to see some squeezing here. Prices, let's put it this way. ConocoPhillips is not going to take the hit. They're not going to be like, oh, don't worry about it. We're not going to move our prices too much. The American people, they've been patient. They're good people. We're not going to charge them anymore for their oil. Of course, come on now, guys. Don't live in a fantasy. It's going to ripple through the economy, right? Like it's going to be like crap through a sick goose. You're going to feel it. It's going to be in your pocketbook soon enough, if not already. So prices for everything are going to be impacted by these movements, and that's rest assured. And it's only just begun. I can promise you this, looking at it, and after hearing from people in the oil industry personally, if everything returned to normal tomorrow morning, you woke up, the Ayatollah had converted to like Southern Alabama Bible Belt evangelical Baptist religion, and everything was peace and in harmony, and he was listening to Billy Graham and jumping up and down and just giving his land to Israel and taking IPAC dollars. If that happened tomorrow, even if everything went in that direction, which is impossible, of course, it's retarded. I know. I'm just trying to paint a picture here. Even if you woke up and that were the scenario that you lived in, these prices would take months to recover just from the impact on the logistics, the production, the refinery, and the distribution networks of oil damaged and impacted in the Middle East to date. And that's coming from pretty reliable sources. So just consider that, even if everything got back to normal, you're not going to see normal oil prices where they were prior. But, who cares? I don't go too far. I don't do too much. Let it hurt. Let it hurt the commuters. I guarantee you, the commuters, the boomers, the MAGAs out there that think this is the greatest thing ever and are just totally bloodthirsty warmongers and celebrate the killing of 168 innocent, beautiful little girls in a school by a U.S. cruise missile. If they celebrate that, then let them pay. Let them hurt. Let them eat cake. Let them have pain. Let them suffer the consequences. Let them find out. I think I'm a big believer in finding out. And I think that the United States, the empire that trips over itself and staggers through the streets drunk and ignorant, consumed by its own ego, I can assure you that the U.S. empire and the emperor himself have no idea what they're tripping into. They don't have wisdom, discernment. They don't even have empathy. They lack very much any admirable quality of character or integrity whatsoever. We know that, though. Come on. These people surround themselves and protect people who eat children. They're not good people. You have to accept that. You have to acknowledge that. And once you do, once you are able to embrace the reality of the scenario and the situation, the backdrop in which we find ourselves, you tend to realize that, things are not going to get better. We've been talking about this for years. They typically only get worse. These people are going to lie. Nothing good can come of anything that they do. And we just don't seem to learn our lessons. What's really bizarre to me is the setup, right? I mean, this fragile economy that we're dealing with already, the inflation stuff that we had going on, potential economic troubles and collapses in certain markets within the economy, and then this big, spontaneous, we need to go now based on whatever intelligence, huge, massive global war in the Middle East with mission creep, no end in sight, no discernible goals of mission or accomplishments. All of it for Israel, just shoveling more people into the meat grinder, just killing innocent people, blowing things up, destabilizing the world, causing supply trade disruptions, polluting the earth, flooding the Gulf area with leaking oil, burning oil, acid rain. I mean, if you're an environmentalist, or if you care at all for the ocean and sea life and the release of chemicals into the atmospheres, you would see how absolutely bloody contaminating war truly is, and how. And then you look at the soul-crushing depravity that comes out of it, like the apathy, the ignoring of the murder of the innocents, the deaths of innocents, saying it's, I've had people that profess to be Christians recently. I mean, it just blows my mind. Say that, this is what war is about. We can't help it. There's going to be collateral damage, things like that, and they completely blow off the child sacrifice and the death of 168 little Iranian girls at school one day at the hands of the United States with a cruise missile. I guess, what can I expect? They do the same thing. They murder. They've been committing genocide since they got here, really. I mean, you look up the Baker Massacre on the Marias River with the Piegan Blackfeet Indians and just read enough on that, and you can see that it's in their marrow. It's in their DNA. It is in the very marrow, the genetic code of the United States government to commit acts like that. They're not good people. They're not, blessed by God or adorned by God or loved by God. No. They have free will. They take what's theirs. They take what they want. They do what they want. They're wayward for sure. We know that. I mean, come on. You really think these people are on... you really think they're set apart? They're good? Come on now. I mean, Donald Trump, he look at his character for real. Come on, dig deep. Really look at it. Come on, expose it to the light. See what it is. All of them. They're all garbage. They're all refuse, trash, filth, pestilence, disease. So they have nothing to offer, nothing valid, and they're liars, and they speak lies. So they're not to be believed or trusted. And I don't think they had a plan going into this. And part of the evidence of that is they thought that Iran was going to give up and surrender. Of course, there's no really good, reliable news. The United States media, anyone who watches that, if you're going to the U.S. media, and I'm trying to recall, let me say this part first. You don't know it. You're the least informed of anybody, typically. They talk about celebrities. I mean, how many pages after page? You go on Fox or MSNBC or CNN ever, and it's like 80% celebrity or sports talk. Okay, so that's for retarded people. Anyone who clicks on or opens those articles or shows any interest in celebrity entertainment gossip or who's dating who or who broke up and the drama on this set or this or The Voice or Dancing with the Stars, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. They should take your vote from you. I do not believe you should be part of the electoral process of any republic or any free nation. You should have to surrender your rights, and you can just go live in whatever land that is over there. Whatever that is, occupy that intellectual zone over there. But you don't have the rights of the free men. You don't have the opinion. You're not allowed to partake in the system. You're not going to offer judgment or direction of the course of the republic. It's just the way it is. In the perfect state, that's how it would be operated. And we'd repeal the 19th Amendment immediately. However, back to reliable news sources, I did see a recommendation the other day, and I was trying to recall them because it's very difficult these days to get access to or find true information. But we're going to sort through some. I do have some BS news pulled up just because of the shock factor. I like to see what's on Fox sometimes, what they're screaming about. What are they talking about? What are the people that play with Mark Levin screaming about? The Ben Shapiro news networks. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see how they're victimizing themselves today. How are they a victim today? Who else is victimizing them? And Who else is antiseptic? Who's the most antiseptic out there? That's what I want to know. I want to know who's on the top of that list. How do you get there? What's their number? What's their email address? How do we become friends? But it's pretty obvious that the U.S. has no clue what's going on. I've been listening to different sources, trying to take it all in from all different directions. And it's pretty nice. When I was listening the other day, I was just on a little road trip for work, driving to someplace, listening to Tucker, and just eye-opening, really is. Some of the stuff, he's on point. I know a lot of people here don't like him. But that's fine. I don't care. I think he's got some good intent. He's got some good information, and a lot of the guests he has on are quite illuminating on these subjects and quite knowledgeable as well, with good experience and background. But, as you know, they killed the Ayatollah Khomeini, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, so don't judge me. I don't care. I don't speak these languages. I don't know the pronunciation of certain things. And then they smoked, some cabinet meeting. I know there's been a couple of, these guys meet in public places, and they've just been, dropping missiles on them, bombs, blowing them up. Every once in a while miss. They kill a couple kids here, a couple kids there. Boom, blow up a bunch of guys that live in the desert and hang out there and eat dates and have not, I guess you could say, invaded anyone recently. Not like we do anyway. But they've smoked them all, and they keep thinking, we're going to pick, Trump saying there has to be unconditional surrender. We're going to pick the leader. That's not working out that way. And then somehow this other guy came into power, this Mojtaba Khomeini, which is, I guess, the son of the Ayatollah. Just younger, so we got a younger version, educated in the same way, some of the same beliefs, some even argue more radical. I don't know anything about them. I'm not going to pretend to know. I'll go with maybe as radical or more than the other guy when it comes to his religious beliefs. Do I care? No, I don't. It's not my problem. I'm not going to even think about it. I don't dwell on it. But it's news when it comes to the current events and the geopolitical things we're discussing. So this guy became leader. I'm sure there's some relevant things that involves decisions he might be prone to making, certain beliefs he holds more dear. I'm sure they're digging into an intelligence packet somewhere, rifling through the paperwork, trying to figure out everything about this guy. We'll see. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So that it's not going. The point is, it's not going. They didn't, I don't think, want this to happen or plan on this as happening. Perhaps maybe they thought Iran would surrender by now. That hasn't happened. And they're still swapping missiles back and forth. Iran sending their rockets over, hitting stuff in Israel, and Israel's hitting them constantly. The U.S. is assisting, of course. And apparently we've lost 5, right? Is it 5 F-15s now? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 5? I was going to pull something up. I forgot real quick. What's the site that I shared with you guys earlier? Where is it? It was on the, it was the clock. Oh, yeah, the IranCostTicker.com. I got to get that pulled up for us because I wanted to check up on it real quick here. Iran-cost-ticker. I wanted to get this up live. Here it is. Oh, there it is. That's the cost of the war live, kind of like the U.S. debt clock. And it's based on apparently some pretty reliable sources and data. I'm sure it's a rough ballpark estimate. I'm sure it's not exact to the penny, but it's a close estimate. And so far, it's $1 billion a day. It's been 8 days. They're at 8.8 billion so far. We've lost some missile systems. Looks like 6 killed, 18 wounded. Iranian military, they claim, has lost 1380. But a lot of civilians. Again, almost 1,500 civilians have been killed. About 845 wounded, according to information sources that are compiled to be inputs included with this data. Also has pain at the pump, has the price per gallon. It'll tell you about that, how much it's been going up since the war. Different budget estimates, breakdowns, a lot of stuff on the methodology of how this is compiled. So a pretty interesting piece. I'm definitely going to be checking in on this and keeping up on just the costs of this conflict. I think it's an important thing to consider because, again, wars are blood and treasure, and this combines both of those. It has the blood spilled, service members, Iranian military, Iranian civilians, how many killed and wounded, and it has the treasure, how much it's cost, how much it's cost. And I would assume, and I would lean on the side of they're probably underwhelmingly exaggerating these prices. I think it would be much more than this, as a matter of fact. I know that some of the missile systems that were taken out, defense systems that they had to move from allies in the region to move them to protect Israel. And the allies are like, what? Why are you taking our defense systems? Like, well, Israel's broke, so we need them. A lot of those are quite expensive. But the information lockdown on this war is bizarre. And I've seen a lot of references to this. And it's not made up. It's not a rumor. It's real. Israel, and this is kind of well known. They've done restrictions on information coming out of Israel in the past, but apparently recently it has become even more restricted. A strict ban on filming and sharing footage of related to missile strikes by the Israeli military censor and police aims to prevent the sensitive security information from reaching adversaries. That's the excuse anyway. Really what it is, they know there's a lot of us out there that get a pretty big dopamine hit when we see something hit Tel Aviv. And they just don't want people knowing. They don't want people being happy that they're getting it, some of the find out, FAFO. They effed around, now they're finding out. And everyone likes, it's like sports. I guess you could say it's like geopolitical sports. I just happen to, I don't have a horse in this race, right? I don't care. I don't care about either side. Truly, really, I don't. But I do like underdogs a lot of times, and I don't like, well, you know where I sit with a lot of this. And so, if they take a couple of licks, I don't want to say, hey, if it's military installations, great. I don't want to see any innocents get killed. But defense installations, any infrastructure or logistics related to that, this is what's going to happen. Again, just like they say, with complete apathy and no empathy or sympathy whatsoever, just as callously as they can brush off 168 murdered innocent little girls, I'm going to brush off damages that happened to Israel too. I'm just not going to care. I'm not going to show too much emotion. They don't have it. Why should I? I just don't care. As a matter of fact, to be quite fair and honest, they're the aggressor. They started it, right? They threw the first punch. And, like we quoted the other night, everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. And we're going to see how this works out for them. So far, I think, we're hearing about the targeting of desalination plants. As we know, there's not a lot of water in the Middle East. It's quite the desert. And a lot of the water for agriculture and civilian use and drinking comes from desalination. Well, if those plants are taken out, it becomes a place that's, I guess you could say, untenable or incompatible with life. A desert region. People would become quite parched, thirsty, dehydrated, hypovolemic, delirious with it, perchance. So we're seeing that develop. Apparently there's rumors of that happening now, desalination plants being targeted. But again, you're not going to see a lot of this pop up in Western news. They try to act like they're not vulnerable, that they can't take damages, some people are even saying that the West is downplaying even its own casualties, that more have been wounded, more have been killed than are being accurately reported, because they know that reflects upon people like a sports game, almost like points on a board. Who's winning? It's that simple to them. It's just numbers. Well, they killed this many. Oh, so we're winning. We've only lost 6. They've lost 1,500. Okay, we're doing good. The more the numbers pour in, the more the grotesque images of the maimed and the wounded and the damages inflicted upon the West. When I say the West, I mean United States installations in Israel. We could call them the Judeo-Anglo Alliance, I guess, if you will, or the Zionists. The more the Zionists take hits, they don't want that out there. They don't want people seeing it. So they're trying to control that information as best they can. It's just not good for public perception, public opinion, the direction of the war, funding, all of that. Midterms coming up, voting. They want to stay in power, and they need this war. They want this war. They want to go further because it just started. They're 8 days in. They know they probably have, 15 to 20 years left if they go like they do in the past. If we look at anything like the resumes they've had, this is a bigger, more populated, more complex, more advanced country than Iraq ever was. We'll look at a map in just a moment. It's nothing close to what Iraq was, and it's going to be a lot more difficult. You're not going to govern this or control it from the air. No military's ever done that. all these people, and again, I'll quote some of the retarded magatards that are saying there's no ground troop involvement plan yet. And we've only heard that from the powers that be yet. A lot of the yet. No, we're not. There's no ground troops yet. You're not going to control a nation this size of 92 million people that's now broken into 32 independent military groups. Have we talked about that? Almost like 32 distinct cells. Apparently the Iranian military had a plan, a contingency plan to fracture itself into these autonomous, independent 32 units. That's not very dictator-like. I got to be honest. That's not very regime-like. That's kind of like, oh, that's pretty free. That's interesting. That's a very interesting way to approach to where they're like, hey, you guys just do your thing, man. You guys are free to do what you need. We're going to do what we need. 32 different groups like that. Not really that's not very scalar, if you will, of an institution or a command structure. Interesting, for sure. Anyway, that's happening. I mean, a lot of things are happening, but I don't think a lot of this was on the radar or anticipated by the Zionist powers. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, they're really confident going into it. I like seeing it. This confidence, great, be bold. Here's a look real quick. I got other stuff pulled up. Oh, that's the map. We'll go back to it. Here's more news on Fox about the Mojtabi Khamenei getting involved. I did say a headline earlier that it said something about U.S. casualties. I mean, just look what I tell. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. U.S. casualties were rising more than expected. I can't find it more. There was a red highlight. It was actually on Fox News. But like what I said earlier, I mean, just the amount of celebrity gossip and garbage that you see. Just look at this. Just scrolling down through Fox, it's all garbage, all distractions, nothing of importance, no real material. You're not going to get anything out of it. As a matter of fact, X the window, don't give them any views. Typically, antiwar.com has always been a somewhat good source of information. Sometimes good news, actual journalism can emanate from that site. Big three-dimensional map of Iran. Not what I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to go over here, though. Here we go. Back to Google Earth. This is the Bandar Abbas. I think I've even showed you guys this in the past on Google Earth. This is one of their sub bases. It probably doesn't look anything like this today. It was probably quite destroyed recently. And in the past, you used to be able to zoom in on here and scroll around, and you could even see subs in port throughout the... get off my screen. There we go. You can see some of their little ships. It was fun. It was like you felt like a spy. I actually learned about this location from a buddy who was in naval intelligence years ago. He's like, hey, want to see the Iranian subs? And then he explained to me the technology they had and the imagery decade ago when he was, or 2 decades ago, how they could literally zoom in here and pretty much read a license plate on a vehicle. And just imagine what they have now. He's always said, if you can see sky, we can see you. But here's the Straits of Hormuz, right? Apparently it's not as much moving through there right now as they wanted. But you look at the size of this country now. As we look at Iran, I mean, very mountainous country when you get in here. Let's get it back to 3D. There we go. That's what I wanted. I mean, a very, very, very mountainous land. And it's very big. Logistics, right? What did Napoleon say? Amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics. The logistics to feed a military, fuel a military, and provide continued sustenance and support with this type of topography, this type of terrain, in this type of region is going to be quite difficult when you look at the size, scope, and scale of a nation like this. Now knowing that there are 32 distinctive, separated, autonomous cells or military groups operating within it, with over 40 years of preparation, 20 specifically anticipating and planning this exact scenario to a T, waiting for it. When you read even Sun Tzu, what is his quotation on how the enemy or the benefit of fighting on one's home ground? I'm trying to recall the exact quote by Sun Tzu on fighting on your home ground. One of you might be more well-versed on it and have read it more recently than myself. I'm trying to look it up because I just sent it to a friend recently. But think about it. Consider it for a moment. How I don't believe the Western powers truly played this out. Oh, here we go. I did a lot of reading on this the other day, actually. Here goes. The lure. Appear weak when you are strong. So, again, are they appearing weak while they're strong? That's a Sun Tzu strategy. And this is, again, weakness may be calculated to retreat to their primary defense or advantage. I mean, the fortifications, the planning, appearing weak. There is literally a lot of things that Iran is probably behaving right now. Some of the behavior I think we're witnessing is planned. I don't think they are operating from a weak position right now. Again, another Sun Tzu thing is all warfare is based on deception. Appear weak when you're strong and strong when you're weak. I think that by allowing the U.S. to decimate their Navy, their air defenses so early on, and not capitulating, not surrendering, continuing to be resistant, they may be practicing, quote, baiting the enemy to entice him, feign disorder, and crush him, unquote. Again, that's a Sun Tzu strategy. Their goal might be to force a ground war. I mean, think about it. If you go back in time, do it with me. You remember the Afghanistan situation, and aside from the conspiracies, I do believe it was said on record that the Mujahideen spokespeople, like Bin Laden and them, had stated, we want to fight you guys here. We want to bring you here. They wanted to successfully bring, because they knew they couldn't get their armies to come here. The only way they could fight and get on a pitched battlefield was to lure Western forces to their lands. And a lot of it went back to U.S.-Israeli policy and relationships dating back decades, ever since 1948. We know that. So they tried to lure us into Iraq. They tried to lure us into Afghanistan. They wanted us there. They wanted us to enter the empire of graveyards and get bogged down. It was great for them. And it worked. We did. We did exactly what they wanted. They baited us in. So if this is their goal, to force a ground war, they're playing the long game. They know their greatest strength isn't the sea. Okay, they knew that. I mean, I don't think they ever even thought they would be good at that. But they know that their rugged mountainous interior that we're looking at, it's a ground of intersecting highways and difficult ground. I mean, that's literally in The Art of War, the quote. Ground of intersecting highways or difficult ground. So they can entice the U.S. to move into there. I can tell you right now, technology loses its edge. This is where low tech beats high tech. Remember the Taliban quote, you have the watches, we have the time. You have the watches, we have the time. The Zagros Mountains are throughout this region. I mean, where's the other 3D map that I had? I mean, you look at, there we go. I mean, mountain range after mountain range after mountain range after open valleys and deserts. Let me get this zoomed up for you guys a little bit better. This is actually a pretty good looking map, geologic map of elevations, to give you just a rough idea of what we're looking at here. And it's not a lightly populated. They have a lot of combatants ready to go. And they've been preparing, they've been readying for this. Here's the quote I was looking for, choosing the battlefield. He who occupies the field of battle first is at ease. That's a Sun Tzu quote. He who occupies the field of battle first is at ease. So who occupies the field of battle right now first? Obviously, come on now. That's an easy answer. They do. Sun Tzu would argue that the clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. So if we get in there, guys, if the U.S. does the ground troop thing, right? I don't mean we, because I'm not involved. I'm not for this. I'm not going. No, I'm not letting anyone I know go. It's not my fight. But let's say the Zionists invade. They're no longer fighting on their terms because now the Iranian guys have a vote. All right, they're no longer fighting on just their terms with high tech, remote, safe, removed from the battlefield. They're there. It's boots on the ground time. You are fighting on their terms. So effectively, at that point, Iran is then choosing the side of the battle. They've brought it there. So forcing a superpower to come to a landmass 3 times the size of Iraq. 3 times the size of Iraq. Filled with around 91, 92 million people. And 20 years worth of asymmetrical warfare traps. 4th generation insurgent warfare planning. Everything geared around that exact scenario to play out. I mean, you're walking right into it. This is like Romans walking into the Teutoburg Forest. It's like they're just waiting to get slaughtered. This is like a swamp, a bog, a mire. So again, what I said earlier, amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics. This is kind of where Napoleon's wisdom turns the whole air power dream into a nightmare. Think of just the supply chain. Think of what it takes to run the Western air campaigns, the fueling, the refueling, the bombs. I forget what it was, the amount of fuel it takes to keep the U.S. military moving at a wartime posture on a daily basis. It's unbelievable. You can look it up. It's a tremendous amount of fuel. But they don't just need fuel. The supply chain, are you kidding me? They need all the bombs, munitions. So they're bleeding into those. Apparently they fired 400 cruise missiles already at 500 ounces of silver per cruise missile. Somebody do the math for me, please, while I take a break and take a sip of my grapefruit. Ruby red polar grapefruit. 400 cruise missiles, 500 ounces of silver each. Big money. Mayhem Fox says Iran is waiting for U.S. troops. Thanks for the super chat, Mayhem. I appreciate it. And all of you. I mean, all the viewers of this channel. I'm going to thank you guys at the end of this one. I got some words to say to all of you, hopefully, if you can remind me. But thanks for your super chat. Patriot members, thank you as well. Keeping this channel going as we bleed and hemorrhage Zionist followers. Good. Leave. Bye. Away from me, heretic. So again, the supply chain's massive. But you think about everything else they need. I mean, you think of food, not only that, the diesel fuel. Once you get troops on the ground now, you have to have a complete and constant supply of food, water, medicine, parts, ammunition. Hundreds of thousands of people across thousands of miles of hostile territory and bases. And you have to have infrastructure. You have to have airspace that's protected so you can fly wounded back to Germany and things. It's not a very simple thing. Once you start getting a tiny bit of a foothold there, it's going to become very difficult. So we'll see. I mean, Napoleon had to learn the hard way in Russia that the army is only as strong as its ability to eat. And he learned some hard lessons. So I don't know. I think Iran is potentially practicing the whole Sun Tzu thing. Make the enemy provide for you. Draw them in, force them to extend their supply lines to a breaking point. And while the U.S. is focusing on a strategy of the strike, while they're focusing on establishing footholds and taking ground, Iran will focus more on the logistics of the grind. They'll just grind them down, wear them down, slowly, insurgent. They'll never meet them, obviously, on a peer-to-peer level, conventional battlefield. It won't happen. It's not going to be like World War II. It's going to be like Iraq, like Afghanistan. Guys are going to get picked off. IED. It's going to be a very drawn out, slow bleed, slow massacre, very expensive. My guess, I mean, I've tried to ballpark it and used even the AI things now to play this out and average it out and even consulted by looking at articles being written on these topics. What would the casualty rate look like? Obviously, it's going to depend on how many people go in there, right? The percentage of them. But they say if it's a full-scale thing like Iraq, that you could expect up to like 25,000 casualties on the U.S. side. That's a huge number. And, you have to ask yourself, is the West ready for that? Do they want that? Does any president want that on his hands? an administration or a party. If they do, I mean, I truly think because of this, it's done. The Republican Party's done. Like, look, everyone I talk to is never voting again, especially never voting Republican again, never. I think the party's going to struggle from this. They're going to die. There's no coming back from it. It's going to be ugly politically. I think this might be some of the last Republican held majorities in House and Senate in a long time. Possibly. We'll see. Either way, I think the people that start winning next time, like Gates had said, I think you're going to start seeing people gain traction that are more anti-Israel than ever before. It's going to actually become a platform or a talking point. It's going to be like a plus column, check the box. Hey, that guy's anti-Israel. I'm voting for him. I don't care what he says about anything else. That'll be like the one. It'll be like the, you know how you have these one topic or one issue voters? That issue might become pretty powerful to cash in on. And I think it would, especially if people really could prove it. If a candidate could really prove that he's anti-Israel on all fronts and will not take money from them and constantly vote against them, I think if those candidates start to gain traction, that whatever political party has the most of those will start taking seats. Because I think Americans are sick of it. Once the boomers die off, we're over it. We're not going to let you take us down. These long drawn-out wars, these economic collapses, this hubris, this ego, this maniac behavior. It's over. Like, we just got to get the evangelical boomers out. They just have to start. They're dying off at a good rate. We need them to die a little quicker. COVID didn't help us there. Maybe it will. Maybe another virus will pop on them. I know a lot of them got vaccinated, so hopefully those ones, they can succumb to that. At least they accelerated it on their own. But we'll see. I mean, we will see what happens. But demographics should shift. But, there is no benefit to this. There's no benefit. A grinding war like this, I mean, again, back to Sun Tzu. He warned. There's no instance. There's no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. We're not going to benefit from this. This isn't going to make us stronger on any economic foothold. This isn't going to make us stronger in just the opinion of the world. This is not going to strengthen the United States in any way. And this is not making America great again at all. It's making it worse again. This is make America worse again. Wah-wah. This is more of a wah-wah position. Really bad. Horrible decision. Again, a long, drawn-out ground war, my friends. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Go for it. I really don't care. And then you can give me your dissertation on your channel that you start as to why I'm wrong. I mean, I'll read you a thing from Ryan Dawson, okay? And this is true. Argue with this. Argue with this, you little MAGA kid, you little chubby American. The absolute irony of the Western world. Your daughter is an OnlyFans prostitute. Your son is being groomed in government schools to be a homosexual. Your wife cheats on you behind your back. Your society is degenerate, hedonistic hellhole. Your politicians are satanic pedophiles. Homelessness is everywhere, crime everywhere. The country is being invaded by military-age male migrants. The economy going down the drain. Your race and civilization is going extinct and through population collapse. But hey, you got to fix Iran first, right? Let's go focus on Iran. Let's go fix them. We got to bomb them. We got to introduce democracy and freedom to them. Build schools. We got to go over there and do nation building. Spend 20 years there, thousands of troops and trillions of dollars to replace the Ayatollah with the Ayatollah. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. We spent 20 years and $3 trillion or $9 trillion in Afghanistan fighting the Taliban to replace it with the Taliban. The same thing is going to happen here. The exact same thing. Probably bigger, probably worse, probably more severe. Much more severe. So if you're of military age, if you're capable of going and you support this conflict and you don't go, you're yellow. I'm going to call you right now. I'm going to call you right out. See, I'm against it. I am against it conscientiously, for sure. Ideologically opposed to it, for sure. But I'm going to call you out now. I'm going to call you out now, tough guy. Okay? Rubberneck, Vern, you low forehead, mouth breathing, sports watching American. Here's the challenge. Here's the throwdown. Here's the gauntlet. If you're between the ages of 17 and 45 and there's a single branch, I don't care if it's the Coast Guard, the United States Army, I mean, you can have the IQ of a salad and the anatomy of a potato, and they'll take you. So you have no excuse. If you can breathe, walk, and have a pulse, they'll take you. They'll have a role for you. Perhaps you have a unique skill set. Perhaps it's typing. Or maybe you make a grind of coffee that's pretty good. Maybe you can mop a mean hallway or wipe the windshield on an F-16 when it comes in landing. Either way, if you support this conflict and you don't go, you're a big bleeding vagina. You're just a pussy. And that's a fact. So sign up. Get in there. See if you can pass the physical. Take your FISDAP, your ISDAP, whatever it is, your ASVABs. Take your test. Take your test. Get in there. And get a position. And go fight. Because obviously you support it. Don't scream for it here with your hat on, your little red hat. Oh, college can wait. Heck, they'll pay for it. You'll get free health care too. So get over there. Get your sign-on bonus. Buy a Corvette. Park it in storage. Knock some hoe up in a bar somewhere in Florida. And go fight overseas for Uncle Sam and Benjamin Netanyahu, old Bibi. Go die for Bibi in the desert. Come on, do it. Put it up. Act on it. They're so quick to say that this and that and support this and that. I've had these discussions with people. And I know guys that are military age, but I don't see them signing up. I don't see them at a recruiter station. I don't saying, hey, and see, do you see any of them saying, hey, enlist me, I want to go. I see this. I support this. This is the real deal. I can see the ideology. This is a good thing. This is good. They need you. Go. Go forth, my friend. Go forth. All right? Come on. Go interrupt your sister and her mom making their OnlyFans and tell them you're going to go die for Bibi. So the money from the OnlyFans that's owned by a rabbi can send more money to IPAC in Israel. Because that's where the money goes. That's who owns it. A Hebrew. A Zionist. Yeah, a tiny hat. Exactly. It's a fact. Can't make this shit up. Sorry, pattern recognition is higher mammal behavior. It's survival. So I recognize patterns, and once you recognize patterns, there's just no going back. There's no going back. So Rolf Steiner, good friend of the channel, wealth of information. Thank you for the super chat. He goes, Trump is the signal fire to bring back Jesus because Jesus isn't a strong God and needs to help to return to earth. Is Trump like the burning bush that spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, giving the 10 Commandments, kind of like a god? Oh, he thinks he is. He said he was the chosen one. And these magatards, they believe it. They believe he's the chosen one. It's got another comment here from G-Dub. G-Dub, thanks, man. He goes, Trump ran on stopping endless wars. We had 9/11, then 2020. Now this. I don't see it being over in a few weeks or months. Be your own bank and defend your own morality. Things are about to get weird. Absolutely. And then Fed Chair Arthur, my friend, I see yours as well. He goes, 2 weeks to slow the spread of terror. Fed Chair, that is a great analogy. I read that and I've seen that tossed around. The same people that said 2 weeks to flatten the curve are telling us this giant, massive war. It's going to be over in 2 weeks. Just give us 2 more weeks. 2 weeks and the war's over. We're going to hear 2 more weeks for the next 15 years. For the next 15 years, you're going to keep hearing 2 more weeks. And then there's going to be a surge, and then a buildup, and then a reduction, and then a drawdown, and then another surge. And then we'll leave with our tail between our legs with helicopters loading up people on the tops of roofs. It'll be the same old thing. It's the same old story every time. It's amazing how we just can't learn. And it just keeps happening. The same old. It's bizarre, actually. Jeff9429 Hefe says, all the podcasters are calling for this, had 20 years to fight and never did. Oh, of course, and they won't now. Honestly, I believe if there's any documented information of someone supporting this, of any male between the ages of 17 and 50, I think they should force and press them like the Ukrainians do. Just drive down the street, go to their work in a van, sack them, grab them, bag them, and tag them, and zip tie their hands behind their back, throw a hood over their head, throw them in the van, drive them to a recruitment station, make them run a couple laps, put some gear on, show them how to use a gun, slap a gun in their hands, and then drop them in the Middle East. Every single male between 17 and 50, coast to coast, that has any documented support for the conflict, put them in the end zone. Let them go. Let's do it. Put your body where your mouth is, tough guy. Come on, sign up. Ben Shapiro's in the front line. I want that guy in wave 1. Wave 1, the front Humvee with a helmet. He'd look like Darth Helmet. He would. Dark helmet. Imagine trying to get a helmet on that little 4-foot midget. Kidding me? He'd be like a war dwarf. He'd be like a little Jewish Gimli, except not as stocky. Mark Levin too. Just throw him out there. Put him in a medical tent so he has to see the blood. He has to mop the blood off the floor. Give Mark Levin a mop and a bucket, and he gets to mop the trauma ward all day, every day, morning till night, 16-hour shifts. Put him in there. Put him in the MASH unit. Same as Sean Hannity. Put Sean Hannity in the front lines. Front lines. Oh, he's always talking. He's always flexing, talking about how good he is at being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he does martial arts. The fat, dumpy little beady-eyed Irishman, alcoholic. Throw him on the front lines. Sean Hannity, you go to the front, right to the front. Kevin James Hanford, my friend, I see it. Thanks for the super chat. He goes, the Rothschild bankers will never get a foothold in Iran. Their victory is not in the cards for them ever with this. They're never going to win. They're not going to win. Not going to work out like they thought. They're going to get their asses handed to them over here. It's just going to take about 15 years. So, they can continue to flex, be bold, be tough guys. Quick tip on looking for news, current events, and information. I did find this NITTER, knitter.catsarch.com. Interesting site that seems to give you access to Twitter without having Twitter, and you can just do searches. For example, you can just type in like Tel Aviv if you want to see something that's going on there. And you'll generate searches. A lot of times stuff from Grok will come up because people are asking Grok about certain posts, if they're accurate or true. And it's surprisingly, a lot of them are. And I'll go through one in a minute. But I just had a super chat that comes in. Thank you so much, my friend Micah Robinson. Says it's really funny how America has pushed religion out of the U.S., but now they want to push evangelical end of times. Exactly, all over the world. These are the people who are calling for separation of church and state, all this stuff, and they don't want to mix religion and politics, and then boom, they're literally causing a World War III with it. Just a bunch of cynical, godless puppets for the Epstein class. Absolutely. Well said.
Funny, Junius, because your dad was talking about the separation of church and state last night.
Yeah. About the same thing. He brought up that point exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Paul's 6677. Is Barron Trump going?
Is he? What did he say? Who is he?
Is he gonna go over there?
Oh, Paul S. Paul S. says, yeah, send Barron there. He'll be like a whack-a-mole. Yeah. I
mean, he's like 6'7", right? Like.
Yeah, he's like a Nephilim giant. They'd freak out. They'd probably freak out. I'd think it was Goliath. Just dress up Barron Trump like Goliath, and just like maybe the Philistines will retreat. I mean, we're getting biblical about this, and they can give Ben Shapiro, little Ben, he can get a sling and run out there, pretend he's David. Maybe they'll retreat if he thinks he's got God on his side. Let's do it. Let's test it. Let's test that stuff. I saw someone talk about how they won't build a third temple. I want to see him try it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him blow up Dome of the Rock. Try to build a third temple. Apparently, last time they tried to build a third temple, the ground caught on fire and burned a bunch of guys around it. So, Jesus said he destroyed the temple, and he is now the temple. We don't need a third temple. You see, We already know Jesus came and fulfilled all that. So we're not going to get back into that stuff again. The evangelical heretics, we know who they are. They're unsubscribing. They're not here anymore. We're not going to see their comments, thankfully. Be gone with you, heretic. They don't get that stuff, though. They can't put it all together. They want to still be friends with the people that spit on them, their Jew friends, and say that, Jesus is boiling in a vat of feces in hell. That's what these people claim. This is what they believe, of course. And then they spit on you, and they make you hide your crucifix. You can't wear it in their cities in Jerusalem. So, again, these are their best friends, their greatest ally, who do nothing for us. We get nothing from them. They're just parasitic and suck off of us. But, yeah, let it happen. Let it unfold as it should. Let this unfold as it should, and it will. Be calm. Be confident. This is comfy, my friends. Not our fight. We're not going to do anything. It's going to unfold. There's nothing you can do about it. The damages are going to be grotesque, brutal, regional, global, rippling through everything. You will feel it. I will feel it. And we're definitely going to see it. But again, another super chat from our good friend Rolf Steiner in the chat. Thank you, Rolf. He goes, is Barron Trump of age to join the Air Force or join the Marine Corps so that everyone else can try to make here survive? I can't understand that part, my friend. Make survive just a little more. Would James McMurdy be shaking his head? I'm going to try to see if I can read that without the parentheses. Is Barron of age to join the Air Force or join the Marine Corps so that everyone else can try to make it here? Oh, yeah, make it here. You just forgot the it. I get it because you're talking about James McMurdy. We can't make it here anymore. Yes, that's a great song. And James McMurdy would be shaking his head. Good song, definitely busted track. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, the lyrics to that. We can't make it here anymore. No one's going to be able to make it here anymore, Rolf. And of course, the rest of the world is going to have to feel the consequences of these activities of this war that has only yet just begun. Again, let's see if there's any more news generating them. Search terms on Knitter. Apparently, a lot of missiles are hitting. I don't know how many. Again, there's a lot of AI out there today, so very difficult to know what's real, what's not. We're seeing all kinds of footage. Sometimes it's ruled as being accurate. Grok will confirm it, say yes, this was real, because people will question it. Richard Ramirez, thanks. He goes, Americans push religion out? No, it was oy vey. Once they controlled evangelicals, now they can push that angle. They did Schofield and Mr. Kirk. Yes, you're right. They pushed out the religion they didn't want. But apparently, yeah, a lot of destruction occurring. It's hard to get good footage. It really is, because again, there's a stranglehold on data and information coming out from the region. They're not letting any information get out. All right. Well, my friends, that's it for tonight's discussion. Oil's rising. It's going to ripple through everything. You're going to feel it. Metals are down, surprisingly. I don't want to talk about metals too much because, honestly, I just don't care. They should go up, though, but they're taking a huge hit. You'd think with the amount of oil that it takes to get that stuff out of the ground, you would think it would be a little bit more expensive, or you think metals would be reacting right now, but they're not. So hey, have good luck on your adventurism, your Middle East adventure, your empire building, your nation building, your expansion of territory. Have fun on occupying this hostile territory. Good luck. I will not be joining you, and I will not be supporting you. Expect no care packages, no rallied support. I don't care. Not my war, not my problem. Spicy Coco, thanks for the super chat. My friend, he goes, I wonder if the AI push was so that we would question everything we see. Absolutely. I even heard that some of it might be getting put out there, pushed on purpose, knowing it's fake, by the West, because they want people to not trust anything they see that's not coming from their official outlets of information. So question everything. Yes, absolutely. Just know that it's not going as well as they thought. And this is going to be a long slag. Thanks for tuning in to the Junius Maltby Channel. Keep questioning this. Keep resisting this. Don't let them convince you. Don't let them get to you. All right. Have a good night.